The Ontario mortgage delinquency rate was up 135%. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Justin Little, and I'm a local real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario, who loves making educational videos about the market. This week's topic is going to be on an article that has been floating around like crazy that I just want to talk about, and that is that our delinquency rates in Ontario are up 135%. Before we jump into that, if you like the content you hear today, be sure to pop a like on it, because it's going to put this video in front of more people that can benefit from this information as well. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, but let's dive into it. So the main focus I want to go through was an article today, which there are tons of articles basically just repeating the information about Ontario mortgage delinquency rates. And yes, in Ontario, they have gone up 135.2% compared with the year earlier. Now this is fantastic for the media, isn't it? A headline like this, 135%. Oh my God, we should all be panicked. The market's gonna crash. But let's look into it. Let's see what else they have to say. So the agency says financially, so is Equifax Canada, who does a lot of the credit reporting in Canada. The agency finally says financially stressed homeowners in those provinces are increasingly missing credit card payments by homeowners who are 36 and younger. So why would it be 36 and younger? Probably because a lot of those people got into their first house. All their savings went into their home. They don't have a lot of savings, such as people that were able to purchase before all of the insanity started in 2016, the people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity in their home. So it is people that stretch themselves probably to purchase during the peak. Variable rates went up, mortgage rates went up, and now things are becoming a lot more expensive. So Equifax Canada says mortgage delinquency rates are rising at a slower pace and are still much lower than before the pandemic. So there you go. Okay. So even though they're up 135%, it's still lower than pre-pandemic, which is insane when you think about how high our interest. Like before the pandemic, we were getting rates in the threes. Now people I'm seeing are getting high 6s, 7%, 6% maybe mortgage rates. We're seeing right now the mortgage delinquency rates are lower, even though we have higher rates. So I do think that this is a catchy headline, 135%, but it does seem like this is not fully the case. Across the country, it went up 52% in the last quarter compared with a year earlier. Now, what they're talking about, when they talk about delinquency, we should just clarify that they're talking about mortgage payments that are 90 days or more overdue. And then they also compare it with non-mortgage debts that are overdue that rose by 28.9%. So yes, these delinquency rates are raising. I do appreciate that they stay in the article that it is lower than pre-pandemic. They say homeowners are going to continue to renew their mortgages in a much higher interest rate environment. Now, there's an article out there that talks about how 80% of all mortgages in Canada are coming up for renewal in 2024. So yes, we are going to see people stretched. I do think, unfortunately, there will be people that can't hang on to their houses after they have to renew for their mortgage. It's just what happens in a market like this. Now, if the rate does start aggressively slashing at some point towards the end of the year, then we could see a turnaround in this. However, with the rates staying around the level they are, there's definitely going to be some people that can't sustain it. So consumers who locked in historically low rates in 2020 may struggle to maintain their monthly payments. So exactly what I said. Now, one thing, this 135%, they don't put what the actual number of delinquency is. So when we look at Ontario has the most amount of total mortgages, but we have 2,600 in arrears. The number, that's what, just over 0.1%, 2,600. To put that in like Hamilton terms, that's if you were to fill, I think, 10% of Ivor Wynne Stadium. That's the amount of people that mortgages are in arrears across all of Ontario. Out of 2.1 million mortgages. You know who should be more alarmed that they're not talking about is Alberta. Alberta's got almost 2,000 in arrears, and they got 591,000 mortgages. So that ratio is way worse. But seeing this 26, 21, when they're saying 135% increase, that sounds like a super dramatic number. However, when we put it in terms of this 2,621, it's not really a lot. And as they mentioned themselves, it is lower than pre-pandemic levels. Anyways, that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching along. I'm curious, what do you think? Are rates going to go down sooner than later? Are we going to see arrears increase? What is going to happen? I love seeing the opinions on these things. But thanks for following along. We'll talk to you again next week. Take care.